Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. This ought to be an interesting review. Guys, I've been for a while now, I've been trying to get my arms and wrap around this style of beer, which is a wild ale, sour ale type of beer. Some of them are okay to me, and some of them are just so tart and so sour it just makes my mouth go pucker. Uh, but I'm still trying to wrap my arms around this style. This is Allagash Brewing's Coolship Resurgam. Uh, and it is a 6.4% according to the label here. Spontaneously fermented ale aged in oak barrels. So that ought to be fairly interesting. And it has a big long chart here, and it looks like it's the same thing that's written on Untapped. It's written on the back of the bottle here. This was sent to me by Greg, and he actually sent me two different versions of this beer from these guys. This is Resurgam, another top-rated spontaneously fermented beer. This race at number 236 on the Beer Advocate Top 250, and he bought it at the brewery in Maine. So, Greg, thanks a bunch, my brother. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm still trying to wrap my arms around this style of beer, guys, and I'll try to do it the best that I can, but it's liable to overpower my palate and be a little much. I don't know what to expect here. It is a nice, I'd say it's not a cheap beer. It's corked and caged. It's not a huge bottle. It's like a 500 milliliter size bottle. I don't know if it has it written on here or not. I don't see it standing out. 375 milliliters. 12.7 fluid ounces. A little bigger than your typical bottle, but it is corked and caged. I don't have the IBUs listed here, and actually Untapped has it as 6.3%, where the bottle has 6.4%. Beer Advocate also has it as 6.3%. So maybe this new edition is just a wee bit heavier, 6.3, 6.4, not much difference on this. Commercial description says Coolship Resurgam is a blend of both old and young, unfruited, spontaneous beer. The name comes from a motto of our fair city, Portland, Maine. It means, I shall rise again. Coolship Resurgam won a silver medal at the 2010 GABF. A blend of this 1, 2, and 3-year-old spontaneously fermented beer. The finished beer has aromas of apricot, lemon, zest, and candied fruit. Notes of tropical fruit and flavors of funk lead to a clean, tart, and dry finish. So, that's all we need to talk about. So let's get on with this one and see what we got. Hopefully it won't explode and go all kind of crazy stuff all over the couch and me and table and the computer. So let's see what we got. It's coming out pretty easy. Big pop. Big time pop. Got Allagash written on the cork here. I don't see any other pertinent information written on there. So while I pour this, I will tell you the food pairings are the food pairing says it's cheese, peppery, Monterey, pepper jack. Your stronger cheeses, Gorgonzola, Limburger, and glassware flute, tulip, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite tulip glass. It says here can be sold for a long period of time. but I don't know how long I would try to sell her a 6.4% beer, guys. And this does have some sediment coming out of the bottom of the bottle. But he picked it up at the brewery, so I'd say it's about as fresh as you can get your hands on if you pick it up at the brewery. It is kind of cloudy, kind of hazy, nice amber color. Almost looks like a juice bottle, but it is not. About an eighth finger of head on that pour. Let's get it to the nose and see what we got. It most definitely has that funky funk, almost like a farmhouse funkiness. I do get a little bit of maybe some lemon zest or lemongrass. Maybe a hint of some apricots. Let's dive in and see what we got. See if it makes me pucker up. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Greg. That is tart. That is sour. It is tasty though. You just got that initial shock that grabs hold of everything. Very unique beer, this style of beer. I mean, it is unlike any other beer. I mean, these wild ales and spontaneously fermented ales, sours, tarts, they are a class by themselves. And some people start off and pick up on that and love it right off the bat. It is a hard one for me to grasp my arms around. I don't know if I could drink a bunch of this style of beer. It is something either you love or it is definitely an acquired taste. I will say that. But Allagash makes some really tasty beers. I don't think they put out any junk whatsoever. And like I said, I've got another version of this, I think, that he has sent me. So we may try to do some of this stuff back to back, make it what I would say a wild ale or a goose or a lambic style week. I don't have a bunch of them to do, but I do have 2 or 3 to do. So let's take another sip on this thing. The aroma reminds me a lot of a saison or a farmhouse, but the taste has definitely got that tart, sour twang to it. Well, it's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up. Let her taste it, sip on it for a little bit, and see what we end up with. I know this is a well-made beer. I'm not getting any of that alcohol at all. So let me sip on it and let's see where it ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. Just got a little bit left here. I mean, initial sips on this style of beer to me, it just sends me back. But it's a very tasty beer, especially if you're into this style of beer. I just have a very hard time wrapping my hands around it. I've had a bunch of different ones sent to me, Russian River beers, Supplication, Consecration, Temptation. I've had a bunch of them sent to me, so I appreciate everybody trying to help me out, get my arms around this style of beer, but it is still, I don't drink enough of them, and when I take those initial drinks, boy, I tell you what, and I have said this before, guys, growing up as a child, I didn't like tart candy. As you can tell, I like the sweeter stuff. I didn't care for a lot for tart candy, and it's just taken, these style of beers, it's taken me quite a while to get my arms around them, and I still haven't succeeded doing that, guys. So let's do the final chug here. I do like the aroma. The aroma is very, very nice. Like I said, it reminds me of a farmhouse or a saison. but that grasp of that tart sourness. Oh, here we go. Last couple of sips, not too bad. I mean, it don't make those faces. It is an acquired style taste, but after the initial shock, the first half of the glass is kind of a shock to the system, but the last half of the glass is very, very enjoyable. So if I drank more of them, it would probably be less of a shock to my system. So I do think it's a really good beer. I think it's a well-made beer. I think it's a tasty beer. It's just the initial drink or two or three that it takes you back. But it's got a wonderful taste. Very nice, guys. I would give this a 9 out of 10. And there's probably some people who say, oh my God, that's a 10 beer. I wouldn't argue with that a bit, guys. I don't have the experience or the expertise in this style of beer to argue with that whatsoever. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate has it at 4.43. That's right below their A numbers. Pretty close up. That's their A minus number. As far as me, I'm going to give it to A, 95, right down the middle. Over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 4.29. That's their A minus to A, borderline grade to me, because you got to grade those guys on a curve. So we're just going to say it's an A beer all around, guys. Just round it off. So very, very nice beer. Glad I got to try this. Like I said, Allagash doesn't put out any junk. Everything they do is top notch, and this is no exception. Like I said, if you think it's a 10 beer, I wouldn't argue that one bit. And if I drank more of these, I might be able to give a better assessment of what I think of it. I do know it's a well-made beer, and the last half of the glass was tasty. It was just a shock to the system when I don't drink very many of these. But if you've had this one from Allagash, this is their Coolship Resurgam. So if you've had it, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.